An anonymous member has asked, what are the most common mistakes you see with fight scenes?
Writing too much, honestly, and I know why we do that, and, when I started studying crime for the 2nd book, I looked at lying and body language and all that good stuff. So if you are writing a scene where you're having to do a police interview, interrogation, but they call it interview, how can you show that your character is lying without telling your reader, "I wasn't there, he lied." One of the things we have actually different speech patterns when we lie. And one of the things we do is we give way too many details. And there's a reason for that. We are also trying to convince ourselves that what we're saying is true. And I think that happens when we start writing about subjects that we're not really versed in. We have this idea that we need to say more in order to convince the reader that we know what we're talking about. And really, you really don't. You don't have to. I saw my agent this summer and I had lunch with him. He has been in the book industry 40 something years. And he told me that the man who wrote Grizzly Adams, I don't know who's old enough to remember that TV show, but it was a book series, was not an outdoorsman. Instead, he talked with outdoorsmen. And if you read the book Grizzly Adams, of course, these are things that anybody can know if they just go stand in the woods for a little bit. It's mainly a story about a person. So he didn't get so bogged down in every tiny detail of nature. When he did, it was something he could experience or he could call somebody about. So I just lost my train of thought. That it.
No, I think that was
I
very good.
mean, I look, y'all, I'm in Texas and we have allergies and I can't hear out of this ear. I can't breathe. So I don't even, I'm hoping I'm
No.
answering the questions.
No, yeah, I think that was great. And I think that that goes for all writing, right? Like that's not just a
Hmm.
I've definitely I forget who it was, but I was talking to somebody who said they read a book and the person writing the book had uh done a thing on airships. That
Hmm.
was their like cool premise that they were all doing airships and they had
Hmm.
clearly done so much research on how
Yes.
ships work that they're like,
Yes.
"Look, I did the work and I wanna show you every
Yes.
detail I learned about
Yes.
ships." And that's not
Yes.
necessarily the most
Right.
compelling reading for someone who did
Right.
not do a lot of research,
Right.
let's say.
It's just overwriting. And
Yeah.
putting in technical lingo. Sometimes technical lingo is necessary. If you have someone who is a master swordsman, he's not going to say, "Hand me the thingy, I need to fix the thingy." They're not going to do that. They're going to know the actual terms for it. But unless you're writing The Princess Bride, and the whole section where Inigo and Wesley, and Wesley is dressed as a Dread Pirate Roberts, he and Inigo are sword fighting, and they're throwing out technical lingo right and left. I don't have to know what that means to follow the scene. The whole purpose is they're trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
If you have to know the meaning of something for the scene to make sense, consider maybe not using it. Remember, your reader does not know what that technical lingo, and very few technical terminology in fighting is descriptive of what it is. I was teaching a judo throw in the kids class, and I said to my partner, we're gonna do ouchigari," and she was like, don't bother, don't
Don't know that
bother."
word.
I was like, "We're gonna do ouchigari to kochigari to ashiharai," and she was like, "Outside trip,
Cool.
inside trip, yeah." But kids don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Inside leg trip, outside leg trip, sweep. That's the stuff they get. And really that's what your readers need. You only put in the technical lingo when it's organic to the scene. If you have somebody who speaks a whole other language all the time and they come in the room and they just say, "Howdy, y'all." Is that really true to what they would say? Or would they say hola? Everybody knows in the room what that means, and you can tell in the writing what that means, show in the writing what that means. But yeah, stay away from that technical lingo when possible. It is not always possible. If you're reading a Jason Bourne book, you're going to have technical lingo in there. You're going to have technical lingo in there. But at the end of the day, even if you don't understand that technical lingo, you are grasping the story 100%.
Yeah. And remember that even when they're training with their friends, even when they're working with people who know the technical lingo, a lot of times there will be a slang for it that's maybe just
Yes.
within that specific group of people.
Yes, absolutely.
We definitely always
Absolutely.
had, like, self-defense moves, and so they would all
Mhm.
have official names, but then we would run through them and trying to remember, 'cause, you have, like, to do 55 in a
Oh,
row or whatever.
absolutely.
So you'd run through the
Absolutely.
names that you say with your training
Right.
partner and be like, "This
Right.
one's good morning." That has nothing to do with morning, but that's the one that we said
Right.
good morning after we landed real hard on the mat, and so it's funny to
Yes.
us, and now we say that every
Right.
time.
I'll
Like
have a coach, they'll say, path to victory. And that immediately is a certain group of moves. I'll tell one of my friends, don't be classy. Don't be classy. That means that a wrist lock is there. Everybody hates wrist locks. Go for the wrist lock. Quit being classy. Go for the wrist lock.
yeah,
Yeah, don't
but,
be
like, other
classy.
people wouldn't necessarily know that.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. Mm-mm.
exactly. I love it.
And you don't want to use the exact same lingo as every other school because then when you're coaching, the person knows exactly what you're going through. If my coach says up, 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 I know exactly what that means. And the other opponent, they don't.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.